In this lesson, we're going to talk about multiplying fractions. We're in the middle of the unit on fraction operations, so multiplying fractions is quite a bit easier than adding and subtracting fractions. Just simply to multiply fractions, all you have to do really is to multiply straight across, multiply straight across the fraction. Okay. That means that you're going to take the numerator times the numerator, or remember the numerator is the top number. Okay, so we're going to multiply the two top numbers across, or we're going to multiply the denominator times the denominator, or we're going to multiply the two bottom numbers straight across. If you're multiplying a mixed number, make sure that you change it to an improper fraction before you multiply it, and then go ahead and multiply same as what you did, what I told you to do above here at the first. And then after multiply, make sure that you write your answer in simplest form. In other words, if you're using a graphic calculator to simplify your answer, just type your answer in, and then go math, enter, and that'll write it as a fraction in simplest form. And now, if the answer is an improper fraction, you need to go ahead and change it and write it as a mixed number. You do that by dividing, doing the long division. We'll do some examples of that. All right. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to multiply 1/8 times 6/7. Well, just go 1 times 6, 8 times 7. 1 times 6 is 6. 8 times 7 is 56. All right. And then we're going to need to write that answer in simplest form. Okay, so if we get our calculator and just go 6 divided by 56 and go math, enter, and we see that reduces down to 3/28. Okay, reduces down to 3/28. The next one is 3/5 times 5/8. So we're going to go 3 times 5, 5 times 8. 3 times 5 is 15. 5 times 8 is 40. Okay. Now, if you don't want to use a calculator, here's how you do it. You look to see what's the biggest number that goes into both 15 and 48. This is pretty easy. For these particular numbers, we know that 5 goes into both 15 and 48. So we divide by 5, and we end up with 3/8, or 3/8. We could go ahead and do that using the calculator as well. If I said 15 divided by 40 and go math, enter, and you see that it came out as 3/8. All right. Now the next one is a little bit different because of the fact that we have this negative. We have this negative sign down here. Okay, and I always put the negative sign with the numerator. Okay, it doesn't strictly have to be that way, but it makes it easier. So I got -7 times 4, and I have 8 times 7. All right. So -7 times 4 is negative times a positive is a negative. So that's -28 over 8 times 7, again, is 56. All right. So we have -28 over 56. And when we get our calculator and do that, we hit the -28 divided by 56, math, enter, enter, and we find out that our answer is negative 1/2. Okay, negative 1/2. Make sure that you look here at the fact that it's a negative. Don't forget to notice that it's a negative number right there. Okay. All right. So here we have a fraction multiplied times a whole number. Now remember, anytime we have a whole number, it's just that number over 1. Okay. So in this first one, we have 8 times 6 and 1 times 7. 8 times 6 is 48. 1 times 7 is 7. All right, so we know we're going to end up with a fraction, okay, or with a mixed number. I mean, so we're going to say 7 divided into 48. Okay, 7 goes into 48 6 times, which is 42. 8 take away 2 is 6. 4 take away 4 is 0. So we bring this up, bring the remainder up as 6 and 6/7. Okay, now when we simplify this, we don't have to type in that whole number 6. All we need to look at doing is simplifying the 6/7. All right, so we're just going to go 6 divided by 7, math, enter, enter, and it comes back as 6/7. So it is already in simplest form right here. Okay, that's as simplified as it gets. All right. Here, once again, we have a negative number, negative 3, so it becomes negative 3 over 1. So we're going to go negative 3 times 5 and 1 times 8. All right. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. 1 times 8 is 8. Okay. And when we divide, we're going to just say 8 and 15. Oops. All right. And we're going to bring that negative number up top. 8 goes into 15 one time. Right. And that's 8. Subtract. And we end up with a 7. Bring this 7 up. And it becomes 7 over 8. Okay. So that's negative 1 and 7/8. And that is in simplest form. I'll just do it right quick just to show you. 7/8 and math, enter, enter, and come back as 7/8. Okay. Now, if we look at this next one, we notice that we have a mixed number 5 and 1/3. So that's 2 over 1. Okay. But this 5 and 1/3, we have to use the big C, what I call the big C, to change that to an improper fraction. On the big C, we multiply on bottom and add up on top. So we're going to go 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So that turns into 16 over 3. All right, so we're going to multiply 2, this is 2 over 1, times 16 over 3. Okay, so when we multiply across, 2 times 16 is 32. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, so if we go into, when we multiply, I'm going to move this over here where I got more room. 3 goes into 32 10 times, which is 30. Subtract with a remainder 2, so that comes up, and that becomes 2 over 3. Okay, so it's 10 and 2/3, and that is already in simplest form. Nothing goes into both 2 and 3 other than 1. All right, do the same thing down here. We have 4 over 1, and 9 2/5. Okay. We do the big C, multiply, and add. 5 times 9 is 45 plus 2 is 47 over 5. Okay, so we have 4 over 1 times 47 over 5. Okay, 4 times 47, we know that 1 times 5 is 5. Okay, and 4 times 47, we'll get the calculator out for that. 4 times 47 is 188. Okay, so that's 188. Divide that. 5 goes into 188. 5 goes into 18 3 times, which is 15. Subtract 38. Goes in there 7 times. 35 with a remainder 3. Bring it up. And it's 37 3/5. Okay? So that does it for this lesson. Okay? By the way, the 3/5 is in simplest form. So that does it for this lesson. Make sure that you've copied the notes on the first page, and make sure you ask me any questions if you got them. All right, and we'll talk to y'all later.